In the last episode, we looked at the Moth and whether we can make it financially viable in comparison to the other ships and options we have if we ignore its really horrible salvage speed as far as scraping for recycled material, and instead just focused on the construction material. We're going to compare that in this episode with what we can do in what I meant to be a similar amount of time with a reclaimer. Now, as it turns out, you just don't do anything quick in the reclaimer. So we'll kind of look at, ISK per hour or AUEC per hour versus what we made in the Moth. However, I think it's easy to say that if you only have a few minutes, it's a lot easier to get out and get something done with the Moth than it is with the reclaimer. But let's go ahead. I've got 2 hours of video footage to edit down. Hopefully it goes as well as yesterday where we cut out 60% of it. I don't think it's gonna be quite that good today, but I'll see how it goes. Let's roll the title. All right, I think I've got everything taken care of. We got some food, moved our spawn point, fell through the floor.
Hi.
What? What the fuck is going on? Well, that was interesting. I just fell through a floor trying to sit down and eat a burrito. Okay. Let us call the reclaimer. So let's do some math here. So the reclaimer holds easily 240 in the hopper, 240 on the floor, right? So that's 480. We're looking at 1/5 is going to be what we get out of this, right? So times 0.2, that's 96, times 14,000 per SCU. That means we're going to have a haul of about 1.3 million, right? Now, obviously, there's going to be some fuel, there's some fees, but realistically, 1.25 to 1.3 for 2 ships. So we'll start the timer now. It is 14 minutes now. So let's go ahead and we'll retrieve our reclaimer. Docking port 2. Looks like a giant, what are the little spider robots from Ghost in the Shell? Tamagotchis? Is that what it is? It's like one of those, just a bigger one. But every bit as cute. I'm going to go ahead and turn that down a little bit, turn that down 1. We'll max out that. We'll put that to there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, we don't plan on doing a lot of shooting with this, but it does have its own PDCs, so we want them to have max power because they are the laser ones. And yeah, we'll get out of here. Okay. Let's grab us a contract. Hopefully, something big. Nothing big there. Hammerhead. We're coming at this from the mailman's here. That's why the dogs are barking, if you're picking that up. All right. We're in kind of the perfect spot for this. Oh, it doesn't even matter. I was gonna see how close do I need to get to scrape it, but we're not gonna scrape it. We're just gonna blow it up. So I'm gonna get it nice and tight there. That seems fine. We'll hop out of the seat. Might be a little bit far away. We'll see. That is the one problem, is I can't pilot from the claw seat like you can in the Moth, which is a nice feature. Power on. Put us in mining mode. There we go. All right, 238 SCU in theory. Now, this one's a little bit more of a pain in the butt because stuff is going to scatter. And we can't follow it from this seat. So we'll have to get out of the seat, move us in on spots, and move us out. But 238 is what it says. We'll see what we actually get. We've got room for 240. If we get close to the big chunk and get the bonus, then we can miss a small chunk or two if we have to, if they drift off and we lose them. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to get out of the seat. This is going to hit us, but is that going to stop it for us? Okay, it might bump us again, but I think that'll keep it in one place long enough for us. And then we'll have to go see if we can find the other pieces. Where did it go? Whoops. What happened? Did it just disappear? Is it just gone? Where did it go? Okay. Well, I think we just got fucked there. I mean, it was right there in front of us. All right, well, there's a piece here. All right, well, we got hosed there. That happens. Kind of invalidates all our testing, but in a sense not, because you know what? That's what happens in Star Citizen. Still moving. Well, let's see if we can get it without too much loss. Come on, today, it's floating away. We're certainly not getting the bonus out of it. But this is more than we got total in the last one, right? And we did it in 13 minutes, which is still too long because we should have a bunch more at this point. Let's scooch up and get ourselves a little extra. You have to be patient. Whoops. We did not get close enough to get the bonus. But like I said, if we get 90 SCU out of this total, that's not terrible. It's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. We'll grab something else and then we'll... It is a lot nicer if you have a second person, even just a second account. And I do have a second account. I could log on to another computer and put them in the seat and could even dual monitor it here if I wanted to. I use a Odyssey, whatever, ultra widescreen, whatever, but it can be set up as two monitors. Okay, I don't see anything else that looks like it's useful for us in the immediate vicinity. Caterpillar. And this is why we have PDCs. Is he coming? I mean, I have access to guns. He's on the other side of that, right? Where is he coming? Maybe. Maybe he is. Yeah, does he know where he's going? Is somebody shooting him? Looks like he's getting shot. All right, well, I'm going to ignore him. We could do a lot of salvage here. There's a lot of pieces floating around. Well, now it looks like he's not taking damage. Oh, now he's dead. Don't know. Whoever it is leaves us alone. Maybe we'll come grab some of this extra floaty chunks if we can. And we may as well scan it. I'm not planning on grabbing this stuff, especially since we know that there's possibly somebody out here. I'm not going to EVA away from the ship. But if you are in the, I'm going to go just get stuff out of the cargo bays and not even worry about the ship school. Does that say Hammerhead? It does. Wasn't this supposed to be a Buccaneer? Or a Buccaneer, a Caterpillar? And why am I not stopping? I am incoupled. I was off the throttle. Weird. No cargo. Okay. Let us come in here nice and tight. Arm comes out. Hopefully doesn't bump it. Go to fracture. That's going to be a little annoying because we didn't move the stuff out of the hold. So we are going to have to move stuff if we want all of this one. And that means chunks of it are going to float away and disappear, or just disappear. It'll be perfect though. That one's assuming it doesn't move too fast. Oh, I think it probably is. We'll see. We're going to get to 61 anyway, I think. Oh, now they're both moving quick. I'd kind of rather the 61 get out of range and we hang on to the 140 because that tops us off better, but all right. And that's beginning to wander off anyway. See how it had gone to yellow? We were just about out of range. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin us over here, just down to look at it. And then I'm going to risk going and back. I wonder if we can tractor it. We're going to risk going and back to unload the hopper because we're not full yet, but we're... Come on. Oh, wait, looks like it's holding. Let's verify through the front window that it is in fact still being tractored even when I let go. It is not. So getting out does turn off the tractor, which is a little bit annoying. But again, it looks like it's not drifting away from us anymore. Oh, can we get that? Oh, it's just a door. I was gonna say, is that like an engine or something I could grab? All right. Let's go back quickly. Clear some room. if you had 2 people, you could unload this at the cargo grid, the external cargo dock grid, pretty easily. But with 1 person, I guess I could have gone through there and stayed open. It's really a pain in the butt to just do it with 1 person because you are, there we go. Because you kind of have to throw it through a chute. And so you don't have really, you can't kind of easily place it. You need 1 person to kind of put it down on the chute door, and then the other person you grab it and put it on the cargo dock. It's fine if you're working in gravity because you can just throw it out the bottom chute. It'll just fall out, and then you can go down and move them into your hangar or whatever. But in space, not quite as easy. Is it gone? No, it's just behind us. Okay, that's kind of weird, but okay. Oh, there's a piece right there too. Oh, was I looking in the right direction? I was not. It is still right there. Okay. All right, let's get in close. It'd be nice if we do get the bonus on this one. Of course, I don't know how close we can get because we don't have, because you can't target it anymore, right? And the claw is going to bump it if we get too close. I think that's about as much as I'm going to risk right now. Let's see if that gives us a bonus or not. I don't think it will. It seems so much farther away here. Well, actually, I think I did that about as good as it could be done. I take it back. It doesn't want to give us a bonus, but I don't think I can get any closer than that. Your bonus is based on a specific point on it that it determines as kind of your base point or your origin point, not how close you are to any physical portion of this of the outer skin, I guess. All right, back up to 150 in the hopper. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to warp halfway there, hop out of warp, move that stuff around in a safe area, and then take us back. All right, well, we've got room for 5 more on the grid here, 1 there, 4 there. I've got another 64 in the cargo bay. There's room for a bunch of 2s down there as well. I don't know how much. Now, if we were to unload this on the ground, we would open this door down here. Boop. And then we toss it out the back. And we could also put stuff down here, but this is not on the grid, so this does not count. I think it should. I definitely think there should be a grid down here. Single stack 16s. Show you the cargo grid real quick. We're not gonna stop there, but we'll just take a look at it. I mean, we are gonna stop there, but we're not gonna go in. There we go. 8 8s, and you can put 2s around most of those. And it looks like it's going to take us just over an hour of actual gameplay. I'm sitting exactly at an hour now. We got to fly in, dock, and go up. We did lose a little bit of time from a perfect run, but 35 minutes for 40 or an hour and 10 for whatever we're going to get. If we get more than 80, then we've beat it. Or we've proved that the Moth isn't really worth using at the moment, despite the fact I just bought it. So, if my math is correct, we should have somewhere around 300. We're a little bit under that, but let's use 300 for our math. So we're going to times that by 0.2. This is how much we're going to get out of it, right? 1/5. And we're going to times that by 14,000. And so we should, is that right? 840,000 is all? What did we get out of the other one? 100,000? I don't know. I don't think it's worth it. I mean, I'm not going to say no to this if that's what it comes out to. But because in theory, we've got 100,000. Well, no, I don't know. We'll find out what the 40 is, and then we'll do the math again. Between the two, they're going to put me pretty close to what I need to buy my Mercury Star Runner, though. Even if it is just 800,000. I mean, I went back and checked my math again, and I think 840 is probably accurate. For an hour's worth of work, that's not too bad. Right? I mean, on one hand, I'm disappointed that that's it. You know, a full load plus most of the cargo bay full, only being 800,000. But again, it's been an hour and 5 minutes. Oops. I need just a normal dock, but it should be okay, where is it? Oh, right there. I don't know what the up is though. Looks like that's down. So we want to be kind of like this-ish. And we're going to want to be pointed the other direction. Oh, wait, that's fine. All right, so one thing you can do is get all your green dots green, right? So that your strafe and your yaw and all that is good. They don't have to be perfect, but they should be. Okay, now we want go this way. Okay, now what you can do is put yourself in free look, right? So you can't mess your yaw up. Now, I spin around here, and I need to be up. But now I can just do kind of my cardinal directions, right? And it's right above the small one there. So we can get past here. Back a little bit. Then we can come up. See, it's right there behind that. Ooh, this is actually a tiny bit high. I say it's actually pretty close, and it is, but I was a tiny bit high. And then when you get close, I don't know if that's close enough. You just hold down N, and that is close enough. And it will automatically pull you in and dock. I can see my video title now, 750,000 ISK an hour, easy money. And it is, and that would be accurate. And actually, I'd be more accurate from a time standpoint than the vast majority, because I think we're going to make 840 over an hour and 10 minutes. That's what we're looking at right now. All it takes is a reclaimer. Just that's it. I don't know how much they cost. We'll look in a second. A lot. Although maybe not that much for a subcapital ship with PDCs.
From accounts, please contact management. Accounts, contact management. Thank you.
But for a subcapital ship with no medical bed or hangar, maybe a lot. Log in. We are going to just take this to Pyro Gateway because we're going to sell it from right here. There's our 800. Which is going to be 8. Yep, confirm. Then we're going to go here. We're going to pick our reclaimer. And you can see we're just under 300. And we're going to go with the same one I went with before. I think. Yeah. Kick that on. Get a quote. Okay, hold on. Where's my calculator? 44. 45, because it'll round up. Times. Where am I off? $2.99 times 0.5. No, not 0.5. $2.99 times 0.2 times. So I think I should get 60 out of this. But I am not. Even though we got that out of the last one, right? We got a 20% yield. Now we're only getting a 15% yield. Oh, different material. Different material, because we did this, we salvaged this with a large, which means this is construction rubble versus construction whatever, material versus construction whatever. So lower overall yield. And I'm going to assume, even if we pick one of these others, we're still looking at that. Wow, 19 hours. What was the version I was going to go with? Well, I'm still going to go with. What was I looking at that was going to take 19 hours? Right? Because this is very low speed, 3 hours. This is low speed, 19 hours. It's got to be bugged. High speed would be 4 hours. Maybe this is the one that's bugged? I think this is the one that's bugged. I mean, considering I'm losing 5% yield over what we had on the other, I'll take it. Let me go sell what we got, because that was the whole point of coming here, was so that we can refine it here and then sell it here. And when we've been working on this kind of idea of how much we're going to get, let's see what we actually do get. 100,000, 116. So actually we did a little bit better than I had figured. Yeah, because 14,500. So if we keep that price, we're looking about 650,000. Well, that's kind of disappointing. But again, 650,000 for an hour. You know, I could do probably 3 Hall C missions in that. They're each going to pay 150 to 250,000, and then you have to deal with the bugs. Does it think you're stopped? Does it think your spindles are extended? Do you have to get out of your seat? Do you have to dance around? I don't know. It's less frustration than that for sure. So I would say equal to a Hall C when a Hall C works, which is probably where it should be, right? That means it's probably right out where it should be. Now, how that would work if we would have salvaged one. So I guess my next experiment is going to be actually salvaging and then crunching one, just one, because I figured that's going to come out. Salvaging is going to take some time, not 30 minutes, but it's going to take some time. And then find out what that costs us. Like just doing one instead of 2 crunches, what is just one total full recycle and construction going to give us. In the meantime, I am about 1 mil short of what I need to get my Mercury Starlancer. Ooh, excuse me. All right, just to make a long video longer, I've taken the reclaimer out. We salvaged one and only one hammerhead. What did it take us last time? An hour 10, an hour 15 total for the 2. Just crushed them for construction material. We are sitting at an hour and 11 right now. So we're looking at about an hour 15 total to get this thing in, landed at Crusader, a couple more minutes. So approximately the same amount of time. I've already dropped off all of the recycled material, or sorry, not the recycled material, the construction material, and got the order in. That one should pay us 406,000 credits. This should pay us about 388, I think, based on the average. Orison and Terra Mills is the highest paying place, with Orison kind of second in Stanton. So that's why I've gone here. It does mean that we won't be landing in a hangar. We'll be landing at a docking port and then taking off from a hangar. Which isn't terrible. This thing's kind of slow anyway, so it means you can take your time as you bring it in. You're not rushing to get in there. But I think we decided we made, well, I don't know, 600,000 or something like that last time, 650,000. So I think we're going to make a little bit more. Where's my calculator? I still got it up here for you. This is what I'm thinking. 406,000 for the construction material, and we should make somewhere around 385,000. So we're going to be just shy of 791, assuming we get paid average here. Could be a little more, a little less, but essentially we're looking at a difference between 800,000 and 650,000. If I remember my number right. I didn't walk back and review the video from 2 hours ago. 3 hours ago, whenever it was, I guess 2 hours ago. So we're making a little bit more for time, but there is an extra step here in that I now need to fly to Orison to drop off the recycled material. Realistically, the more efficient way would have been just to have done a better job of organizing this material in the back. Leave it all in the back, fly to Pyro Gateway, and then unload this stuff to the external dock, right? Because we could do that easily. You're only getting about 50 SCU out of a hammerhead, and you can lower about, well, you can lower quite a bit on the elevator. You can get 4 stacks of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you're careful, you can get 8 8s in there. And then drop those, which is obviously more than 50. That's, what, 64? But you could drop 50 without too much trouble in the elevator and then load to the thing without trying to go out the back hatch. Then dock, sell the stuff. And when you've got enough to make it worth your while, maybe you've got 100, 150, then you can load it in something else quickly, fly it here and sell it all at once. That'd be the most efficient way to do it. We're kind of seeing what can we do in one run, in about an hour. In this case, we're looking, it's going to be an hour and 15, maybe an hour and 20 by the time we dock this. But about the same amount of time as the other, just more steps. So we're going to make a little bit less money for our time, potentially, but we're going to, it's simpler if you just crush it. Or if you just salvage it, right? Because we had to go back there and unload everything once. Well, we're going to have to do it no matter what, but to do the salvage, right? I could have easily hopped out, just hit another Hammerhead to get 100 SCU in there. And then we would have had one location we have to fly it to. So if you're working out of New Babbage, for instance, right? Or even here, because this is the highest price, short of all right. I think that's as close as I'm going to get flying in on the free flying it on the stick. Let's put this up. Now let's get this over. We're already dead on for rotation. Let's put us in free flight. Or free flight, free look. And move us up. Make sure we don't hit the shuttle. Oops. Too much, too much, too much. Come on, come on. There we go. I'll be honest with you guys, I kind of miss the days of our ships being delivered to a pad and us running outside and everybody's ships being there on the pad, and I don't know. There's something to be said for that. The nice hangars, private hangars are nice, but I wish you had like your private hangar at one location, like in this case, Orison for me, right? And every place else you use public pads, public docks, and then you store from there.
Vehicle retrieval system.
And who knows, maybe that's, you know, we still have garages, right? We buy them with each ship, we get a hangar. Maybe that's what it will be. Maybe we'll get various hangars that we can place at locations, and everything else we will. Who knows? All right, so it took us an hour, 23 minutes and 52 seconds to get here. So realistically, how many reclaimers do we have? So we sell our 53. Oh, we're doing a little bit better. 402. So we've made, in theory, assuming we make what we expect to make the other side, we're gonna make 808,000 for an hour and 25 minutes worth of work. So let's see. We're gonna say 808 divided by 1 point. We'll say an hour and a half. We're making 538,000, whereas before we're making what, 605-ish divided by 1.25. Not a whole lot between it, if you ask me, realistically. Is ignoring the salvage, the RMC, and just getting construction material. Do I have a face? Hold on. I do. We'll spin around here then. Got the Stratus behind us, product placement. Crusader banners right behind us. Is it financially viable to just ignore the RMC and go for construction materials? It appears to be yes with the reclaimer. I would say also yes with a Moth, but using the Moth isn't nearly as financially worth your time as a reclaimer, which is fair. We expect some changes, obviously. It's going to depend on how we need to be able to go after bigger ships. That's really what the key is. It's just bigger ships in the Moth. And I'm not sure how big it can get, but if you can't get a Hercules, then it's probably not going to be worth your time, because there's not a whole lot between kind of Vanguard size that you're going to run across for these missions, right? Maybe you see a Constellation, maybe you see a Mercury Star Runner. It's kind of about it. as far as I can remember seeing ever in those. So I would say for smaller ships, you definitely want the RMC. But for the reclaimer, go out and just crush stuff. I think it's faster, it's easier. You can work out of one location. You don't have to hop around. I'm sure you'll find ways to become more efficient. If I had my other account sitting in the crusher seat, we'd be significantly more efficient as far as collecting the material. So, yeah, there's definitely ways to improve it. But I think for total cost, it probably pays slightly more to get the RMC, but it's much, you have to jump through more hoops because you need more than one location. There's just not, let me drag this over here. So this is RMC, right? And we can go down here and we can see obviously here, but there's not a lot of places that accept both, not in Stanton. Right? What does, let's go ahead and check Grim Hex. So they don't pay terrible, but they're in that third tier, right? A little bit less than the third tier. Levski and I mean, I guess we can check Pyro Gateway and Nyx too. This is where? Grim Hex. So Grim Hex doesn't appear to have, well, let's go. Like they will buy recycled and they will they buy construction and they will buy construction materials. So they'll buy both of them, but I don't think you can. There's not a, well, I don't know. Let's click on one of these others. I don't think there's a refinery. There's not. So there's no refinery there. So that still means multiple stops. So Levski has a load dock, cargo center, and refinery. I don't know if you can land an extra large ship there. But otherwise, and they won't buy RCM. So no recycled, only construction materials. So you could refine it and dump it there. How about Pyro in Nyx? They'll buy both, and they have a refinery. So maybe that's your... Do they have a loading dock? Docking? No, docking port for disembarking. Is that exactly what we're looking for? Docking. No dock at Grim Hex either. You have to land. So yeah, it looks like maybe Pyro Gateway and Nyx would be even better, at least for just the straight industrial, because you can refine, you can dock, there's a cargo center, and they buy both RMC, and construction materials. So that would be a one-stop shop. So you could cut down on that. And that would get you back down to, I think I was at like an hour and 10. So all of a sudden then it becomes financially viable, depending on what missions there are there. I haven't tried to take this to Nyx. But that could do it. Let's go... Pyro, Gateway, Stanton. I'm pretty sure they don't buy. According to this, which is funny, they don't buy construction materials, but they do. Oh, that's what you can buy there, not what you can sell there. So construction materials, I would be so annoyed if I saw that they bought RMC here. They don't. So, yeah. No, not Nyx Gateway Pyro. Pyro Gateway Nyx. There we go. Construction RCM. Yeah. Okay. Well, Pyro Gateway. Here or Nix. I think those are your best options, but apparently maybe slightly more efficient in Nix. I'll have to give it a go, see how that works. But thanks for watching, guys. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Cheers.